resilience, resistance, and inspiration. His legacy is second to none and everlasting. Nelson Mandela's life teaches strength, forgiveness, and excellent leadership. Happy Nelson Mandela's Day.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit, from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul.
Yes, Mandela. He was a great man. I mean, take nothing away from the man. He became the face of revolution in South Africa, and he's admired all over the world. He has statues in the UK. He has his own honorary session hosted by the UN, and almost any child in the world knows about who Mandela was, or have like an idea who Mandela was. So he was a great man. He was a great statesman. He did something out of the ordinary. I mean, who goes to jail for 27 years and come back and wants to reconcile with his captures? So what does Mandela mean for me, or what his legacy means for me? Yes, from what I've read, what I've seen, what I've heard of the man, and what I've experienced at my young age when he came out of prison and he became the first president of the new South Africa. And I will say he was an extraordinary man, and to be doing what he did, it takes courage. Yes, there's questions now questioning that transition and what he compromised and all that, but for me, at the end of the day, he did what he thought was best at the time, and whatever we might feel was too much of a compromise or too much of giving up or something, or selling out, as some might say. At the end of the day, he did what he thought was best with his collective back then, but at the end of the day, we are here now. And what we can take from his legacy is he had the guts to face on the colonizers, the people that imprisoned him and his comrades. So that, for me, is what I can take. Sitting there and have to make a decision that will change the face of history, for me, it's a big ask, to be honest. And to require from him to have done what would have made everybody happy, I feel it's a bit unfair. So it's upon us now, where he lagged, where he fell short. The rest of us have to pick up from there and carry on with the baton, because he did what he did. He's part of history now. So we, as the new South Africa, or the new kids on the block, we need to learn from him, the good that he did, the bad that he did, the mistakes that he made, and correct them as we go along, so that at the end of the day, we champion what the Freedom Charter wanted to achieve. So yes, I believe part of the Freedom Charter was done, but not fully. So there's still a lot for us to do, because the freedom that we got is not complete, to be honest. And we cannot go to Mandela and question him or ask him what he did or what he didn't do for us or whatever. Where he left off is where we need to pick up, and we need to be real and champion our destiny. He championed his, people might question it, yes. I mean, he has to be questioned. Anybody has to be questioned, regardless of their history or, I mean, people even question whether God is real or not. So Mandela is just a human being with his mistake, his flaws, and whatever. But at the end of the day, we can't take away from the man. He has a rich history, he has a great legacy, he was a great statesman. He preached peace, he preached rainbow nation, he preached the good out of humanity. So it's upon us now to change the tune, pick up the pace, pick up the baton, not do what he did wrong, learn from his mistakes and his comrades. So for us now is to finish what they started. They didn't finish it, they started it. It's upon us to push it further. If we don't finish it, the next generation will have to pick up where we left off as well and champion it as well. So that's, for me, what I pick up from the man and what he has done. He has inspired a lot of us. He has inspired a lot of leaders. As to whether he was a great leader, that depends on how you view it, how you view his history and how you interpret his story. So it's great to be associated with such a great person as a country. Was he the best that we've ever had? I don't know. History will tell. There's still more to be born. Greatness is still yet to come. So we have to work on where he left off. So that's what he means for me. He was a starter. He started the revolution, which is not complete. And I mean, he never at one point said that the revolution is complete or he has delivered what we wanted. He just said, I'll need to continue, and the struggle continues. I mean, if you look all over the world, black men is not free. We don't have the means of production in our hands. We don't have the land. We don't have a whole lot of things. I mean, now in South Africa currently, there's this whole thing of transformation in sports. And so that tells you we cannot go back and ask Mandela for direction. We are here now. He's not here. So we need to do what's best for us, change the face of history again, as he did and his comrades. So yes, we can use him as a learning curve for us and take out from him what was good, leave what was bad, because I mean, he was not a perfect man anyway, like all of us. So it's a huge legacy, it's a great legacy to even speak of. I mean, I know just an inch of what the man was and what he stood for. So I cannot sit here and claim that this and that about him and his legacy, but I take away the positives, learn from the mistakes and the negatives, and keep it moving. At the end of the day, the struggle will continue, and we are here now. We have to become the new Mandelas. We cannot be talking about Mandela forever. I mean, we're not talking about the great men in history forever, even today. Some we've even forgotten about them. So greatness continues. South Africa is still struggling with a whole lot of things, but we have to draw energy somewhere, and he's one of those people that we can draw strength from and learnings from and move on. So yeah, as tough as it is, that's what I think about the man. Thank you.
In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but I'm bowed.
Nelson Mandela is an outstanding figure for me, and his life was what is worth emulating, and he's taught so much. He gave 7 years of his life to humanity and fought for human rights and ensured that injustice was um, fought effectively. I learned quite a lot from his life, and so make a difference regardless of who you are, and you can always be the best you can be.
Looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the ears finds and shall find me unafraid.